Well, I think they're obviously, which we know, leading into Secret Wars and everything like that. But I do think it's going to be more of a battle world style of movie where we're going to have different zones and different areas that are going to be either ruled or filled with different characters from, other teams or other universes. And it's just going to be a merge of all these characters and all these teams and movies. And the one reservation that I have behind that theory is I don't know how they're going to do it because I feel like they haven't really showed the best way of reconnecting all of these MCU movies again, like what we used to do in the golden age of the MCU. Obviously, we have references of characters, and, for example, Captain America Brave New World, we have references of re putting together the Avengers and everything like that, but I feel like if they're going to do a Battle World style of movie where all of these characters come to play, we things should have been a little bit more connected to lead into that. But I mean, I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see what the total outcome is because they could do a Star Wars style of story where we jump right into it at the end. Battle World's already been established, and then we get to find out how we got to that point, which could be interesting and could be a different way of storytelling, reminiscent to like, some big brained writer like Jonathan Hickman. But I don't know. I mean, that's where my brain's at now. I definitely think, which I want to see if you agree, do you think that is the entirety of the cast? I think you're muted.
They actually came on after and said that there is more cast coming. So
Mm.
it's not the whole cast. I'm with you. Things are scrambled right now. We don't have any cohesive direction. But I think that's one of the biggest obstacles for the Russo brothers. Like they have 2 movies to do it though, but I think that gives them plenty of time to start something off strong in Doomsday and pretty much establish a story. Plus, we also have Fantastic Four coming, which Doom has to be introduced in the Fantastic Four. If your next Avengers villain isn't introduced in a Fantastic Four movie, that Doctor Doom specifically not introduced in a Fantastic Four movie, you messed up. You better introduce him. So I'm thinking that we will have much more clarity after Fantastic Four. But I do think that Doomsday, depending on what happens in Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts, you never know. Thunderbolts can have something big story-wise because I think they're hiding something in there. Something big is happening in Thunderbolts. I'm almost positive. There's an asterisk by the damn title, for Christ's sake. Plus, they keep talking about new Avengers saving the world. Sentry is one of the most powerful beings ever, and they're introducing this character. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. So maybe Fantastic Four. But anyway, I think for sure Doomsday ends like Infinity War, right? Doom wins. He becomes Emperor God Doom, and then he has his Secret War. Then Secret Wars is the Battle World movie. I don't think Doomsday is the Battle World movie. I think that's jumping universes, meeting our characters, the X-Men, and I think it'll be much like Hickman's volume of the comics where the Avengers have to face down this other team of heroes that Marvel made just like the Justice League, but barely avoiding franchise infringement. Such a sick volume, too. Doctor Strange has like his most epic display of power there and wins the day. But that would be Doctor Doom manipulating the X-Men. And it'll be like the last incursion. The first issue of Secret Wars, the last incursion, the Ultimate Universe versus the 616. Just replace these X-Men with that Ultimate Universe and Doctor Doom manipulating everything. That's what I think Doomsday is.
So here's my question to you also. Fantastic Four, is that going to be our 616 team, or is that a variant team from the multiverse?
I think they are from the six. Wait, so there's 2. I think one is more likely to happen, and there's one that I think makes great sense and I would like it more. I'll start with that one, less real. I don't think this will happen, but I think it would make perfect sense to have their universe destroyed by an incursion at the very end, but Reed obviously built his life raft or his life raft to escape his universe's incursion. Doctor Doom, being so competitive with Reed Richards, was tracking his engineering, his creation of this bridge or whatever, life raft. So he escapes the incursion too. They end up in the 616 with the information on incursions, and the main villain came to the 616 also, following them. They escaped an incursion, now they're in the 616. Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. That's what I think makes the most sense. But I think it sounds like they were from the 616. This is coming from online shit theories. that might be true. They already came from the 616, but their space exploration bounced them into a separate universe. So they're actually in a foreign universe already. Start of the movie, they're in a foreign universe. And by the end of the movie, they're going to try to make it back home to their universe. And maybe Doctor Doom follows. But that leads me to, like, Tony Stark, right? Obviously, Doctor Doom's not from the 616. Obviously, he's from a different universe. It would just make some... You could be identical to Robert Downey Jr. in another universe and not be Iron Man. That's fine. What was I getting at, though? I guess I just need Doctor Doom to come to that movie, which I already said, so it's just redundant at this point.
Do you think it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing a variation of Tony Stark under the
No.
mask?
No.
He's going to be Victor Von Doom.
They said it's Victor Von Doom. Oh, and they also said that the death of Tony Stark in Endgame plays into the character Doctor Doom. So that makes that kind of... Yeah, they said that like this week. The Russo brothers said that. Which makes me think they have a plan. Which makes me think it's not just a Hail Mary, let's bring RDJ back. It seems like they had something in their mind. Okay, we could do this and then bring RDJ back. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I'm too trusting of the Russo brothers, but I would never think they don't have a plan.
Me too.
mean,
I think
they are big brain directors. We saw that with Infinity War, Endgame. I mean, these are not your schlubs of the movie world. They think things out. Man, that makes the theorist side of your brain go wild hearing all that. Good Lord.
right. So I really cannot wait for Fantastic Four. So many questions. All right. So how about this though? Do you think that Doom's universe will have a Tony Stark?
Good Lord. I would assume so, right? I mean, we've seen the multiverse in great detail at this point from like Deadpool Wolverine, for example, and it seems like there's variations everywhere and they're of every character. They all exist in some form or fashion. Maybe Iron Man isn't Tony Stark. Tony Stark died, so it's somebody else, but he had to have existed at some point.
What if, remember, like even DC's done this, people do this to Professor X, Red Skull did it, Professor X, Victor stole like Tony's body and brain, and no, that's not going to happen.
You
Red
never
Skull did
know.
that to
You never
Professor
know.
X. And then someone tried to do that to Lex Luthor or something. Okay, do you think we will see the Beyonder or like the Beyonder? Or do you think that they're not going to do the Beyonders? And like maybe Wanda is the power source of Doom's reality warping stuff? Or because Molecule Man or the Beyonders I don't see coming into this, but they were so huge in the comics. So I think Wanda's powers or Loki's powers or Kang's powers is going to replace one of their, like, because in the comics he basically defeated the Beyonders, stole their power. That's how he became Emperor Gondu, whatever. And with Wanda has those kind of powers, I feel like he could do that. Plus there was the Children's Crusade comics where that was his goal, to steal Wanda's powers. So there's two comic connections there that could work out. Or that could be Loki. He can go kill Loki. I kind of thought that the climactic battle at the end of Doomsday will be our heroes in between Loki and Doctor Doom and his armies. And they have to defend Loki the way they did that button in Age of Ultron.
Huh. No, I think, I don't know. Part of me thinks Loki's long gone. I think if we see him, he's going to play a very minor role.
He was cast.
Yeah, but he's going to be
no,
a minor role.
He's the god of time. He's holding all the strings. And that is perfect for what Doom would want. Like, he's going to want that. Loki will be one of the most important roles. Maybe not a lot of screen time. I'll give you that. But he's got to be one of the most important roles.
What about American Chavez, though, too?
Yes, agreed. Yes. I think she's going to play a huge role.
I mean, theory, because I don't think Wanda didn't travel time just by herself in Multiverse of Madness. That was all from America Chavez and Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even know if Wanda would necessarily be needed, but I guess in a way she would in order to warp reality.
That's a good argument. No one's argued back, and that's a good argument. She wasn't... Anyway, I'm listening.
Yeah. But now that you point the theory of Loki, I mean, I think Loki would have to be the one where the powers are stolen from. I mean, I guess that would be the most important building block.
Yeah. I just had another thought. So you know how Doctor Strange and Tony Stark in Infinity War were kind of beefing the whole time? What a perfect contrast. Sheriff Strange in the comics serving Robert Downey Jr.'s character. A perfect contrast. The beefing, Doctor Strange is like not going to listen to Tony and like he's not going to submit to his will. Like ever. He's going to do his Doctor Strange shit. Opposite flip. He serves RDJ now. I think that contrast on screen is something they're going to aim for because that was in the comics too.
Yeah, that would be interesting. My question to that would be, so if we're diving deep into the source material, obviously Black Panther and Namor played, or not Namor, or was it Namor?
Yeah, the feud?
Yeah, with the
Absolutely, dude. One of my favorite parts of that comic.
yeah, so they Black Panther needs to play a pretty big role if we're gonna keep it close to that source material, which obviously we have a Black Panther,
It's
but
yeah,
Black
and they're like already at war. It's perfect setup. They're continuing their feud into this incursion. That's literally the same thing from the comics. Stuff before incursions is when the war started. He floods Wakanda. Check that off the MCU box. He already flooded Wakanda. Now we got incursions. And their feud is going to keep going. That's going to be just like the comics, yeah. They don't have to pull every aspect from the source material, but I think, yes, Black Panther and Namor, and yes to whatever the hell we were talking about.
yeah. No, I think the two building blocks that need to be the most present is obviously Reed. I think he needs to be playing a very, very big role, similar to Secret Wars. I would hate to see Black Panther and Namor's entire storyline be gone. That would be a misstep, in my opinion. And then obviously Emperor God Doom leading up to that point. Those are all of the aspects that I think are a must. Everything else they can kind of use creative liberty, but those three, you can't pull away from that too much.
Agreed. If the Fantastic Four's universe doesn't end by an incursion, or maybe even Galactus, he doesn't eat universes. Maybe Doctor Doom destroys their universe. Maybe his plight starts there with his universal. God, I really wish he was the main villain in that movie, dude. To get a ton of backstory and like his goals and motivations. Because in that Fantastic Four movie, if he finds out about Kang and the universe and incursions, and like somehow he just, trims some fat off the cow by destroying his own universe, and then that's how they all escape. I mean, whatever. I don't know, but I think it's a missed opportunity not to have Doctor Doom as the main villain of that. Like, really set him up to, because we're abruptly going into Avengers and we've never seen this dude on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was one of my drawbacks for Captain America Brave New World. Was just the mention of Avengers, right? Like that came out of left field a little bit. Like we haven't heard anything about him, anything about that cast, anything about anything involving the Avengers for such a long time. Then all of a sudden, Thunderbolt Ross is bringing this up to, Sam Wilson and, who's been in the MCU Captain America for what, like a year? It's like, man, like, I don't know. It came out of
It
left
is
field.
it is weird, but it's exciting. I like that it's starting to feel more like the MCU again.
Yeah.
The last 4 years, I wasn't even excited to see almost any movie they dropped except for Guardians, Spider-Man. It sounds like they have a plan finally. Well, and that makes sense. Feige's back, Iger's back, like the hierarchy is back. So of course the good MCU is coming back.
What did you think of Brave New World while we're kind of touching on that?
So I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. It's not top tier, but I actually had a great time. I thought the whole movie was fun. I liked the leader as the villain. I liked